Welcome to Wil Thomas place in Seal Beach, California. In this great garage we see unbelievable bikes and an incredible builder. Just reading the new Wrench magazine. How the hell did you get a hold of that?
Top secret, I can't tell anybody.
Yeah, okay.
Young Turk.
Young Turk, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And how did you start with bike building, Will?
Bike building, man, that's a great question. I guess that's one of those things, you know, I knew I was kind of always going to get into bikes at some point, and got into it a little late, actually. I was probably over 30 years old before I started actually riding. Most kids start out young.
Yeah.
But started hanging out with these old cats, you know, these old greaser dudes, and they had a space in Chicago. They called it in the Flatiron building. It was down in the basement. They just called it the space. It was actually a rehearsal space for their band, and they kind of wrenched around on bikes as well. These dudes really, you know, they had a real unique sense of style. They were way into like kind of the whole R&B and rockabilly music, you know, old school rhythm and blues, you know, that kind of feel, rock and roll, and bikes. Triumphs, all that good stuff. Yeah. And they're the ones who kind of got me into bikes.
What year are we talking about?
Oh man, this is 2003, 4, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they're the ones who got me into old bikes. I mean, this is before I knew what a Panhead was, a shovelhead was. You know, only knuckles I had were the ones I got in a scrap with when I was a kid.
Oh, real rookie.
Yeah, real rookie. But you gotta realize I was in the Marine Corps for a bunch of years before that. So
okay, respect, like, you know, Army respect for me, sir.
Right. Thank you. Crazy enough, when I was in the Marines, we used to talk about riding bikes. We even had the Harley Davidson t-shirts and cylinders, and none of us on the bike. But all we could talk about is one day when we got out, we'd ride bikes. This is actually my first, I'll wheel it out here later, but this is actually my first kicker, this Panhead right here. Love it to death. This is probably the third incarnation of this bike. My buddy Scott, T-Bone over at Noise Cycles, had a lot to do with the fabrication on this thing, and kind of collabed with him on really getting it kind of more safer bike. When I originally built it, and I did do the first build, the thing was a death trap. But I rode it for probably 5 years like that, all through Mexico, all around.
All through Mexico?
Oh yeah, El Diablo. We used to do that thing called the Country Mile. I think I was.
How is it to ride in Mexico? I heard a lot of bad stories, or is it exaggerated?
No, for me it was a great time. I did it for a couple of years, but now I hear so much. You know, it's seemingly a little sketchier. I've kind of slowed down. I haven't been down there in a while, but at that time I really enjoyed it.
The colorful bike next to it, what's that?
Colorful bike next to it, that was my build this year for Born Free, 1969 XLCH. We're almost home. In other words, the fabrication's done, but we had a little problem right before the show, so I still got to get it running yet. DC carb, paint, probably the most special thing by Love Your Art in Japan. He's a great friend. He's actually going to be here in hours from Japan, so excited to see him. Probably the most other, you know, super recognizable thing is the Sugar Bear front end. Yeah. This bike and the style of this bike is probably kind of, if you would, maybe
74, I would say.
Yeah. It's 74. Yeah, it's definitely a tribute to that era and to Bear and kind of what some of the Black Clubs were doing at that time. Seat by Dwayne Ballard, real Swarovski crystals. How about that? Yeah. That's rad. So. And
you have some collectibles here?
Yeah, I got a bunch of crap like everybody else. I don't know, this is the top shelf, you know? Some people say you put all the good stuff on the top shelf. I don't have much good stuff, but good buddy Adam Wright, great photographer, did some really cool books back in the day. I know that. So I really love those. Anything with Drews on it. You know, Drews is a big inspiration of mine. Sugar Bear.
Are you on eBay? Are you on eBay buying parts, or?
No, this is all swap meet finds. Do you know I actually don't own an eBay account? I've never actually shopped or bought a single thing off of eBay. I've been on there kind of looking, but I don't know much about eBay.
And he's not lying. He looked trustworthy. Okay.
I'm super not computer savvy, unfortunately. So I've actually never bought anything online. Most of the bikes, every single bike you see, in fact, I bought because I knew somebody or met somebody. Everybody knows the story about my mom finding the knucklehead. I get a lot of guff for that, but you know, I got a knucklehead.
What's the bike you have here on the outside?
This is my baby right here. This is a 1969 FLH. It happens to be my birth year, so add it up.
Yeah.
This bike gets a lot of attention, I think, just because of the very honest kind of nature of it. It's very raw.
Yeah.
narrowed the fender, the hinge fender, narrowed the gas tanks, the hellings and sellings risers.
So you work here out of your garage, or you have another?
Yeah. So I work here out of the garage, or also I have my good buddy Keo. He kind of has a secret garage, so to speak. He's starting to start his own thing called Keo's Garage, and my lathe is over there, and we do a lot of work over there as well. So it kind of works out. This one we did out of this garage.
All right, thank you, Will. Now let's hit the beach.